Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast, episode 64. I am your host, Frantic. With me, as always, is my lovely co-host,
Grunt. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. We are here to talk about video games.
Oh, wait a minute now. That's not how we start this.
Oh, I know. We're here to talk about gaming, guys.
Games and junk, I believe is correctly.
Gaming and junk. Got a little caught up in the mind. I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep, so forgive me if there are slip-ups. Either way. Hey, either way. All right, so welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast, guys. I am your host, Frantic. With me, as always, is my lovely co-host, Grunt, and we're here to talk about gaming and junk, as always. We're going to start this off by letting you know where you can find us to continue the conversation. So, without further ado, I am at FranticJ3 on Twitter. He is at Onyx Spartan, ONYX Spartan, all one word, on Twitter. Or you can head at Frantic_Talks as the official Frantic Talks Twitter account. Also, you can hit up our special podcast Ghost, who is a little more than a ghost now. We'll get to that. At Freak Show. Wow. Yeah, at Freak Show 187. He likes puns. Give him puns. He'll give you more puns. It's a what's, I can't think of a pun. Pontifical effort. I don't know. You can head over to
That'll work.
You can head over to Twitch.tv. What?
I'm just gonna walk around randomly saying Puntifical.
Okay.
Although that might not be a good idea.
I'm okay with that. It's probably not a good idea, but either way. Head to twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, all one word. That is where you can catch this podcast live every Saturday, usually at 3 p.m. Eastern. Usually. Speaking of usually, we will not be live next week, for I will be out of town. So you will be getting, I believe you guys might do a live stream. I don't know. Don't want to speak for you.
Possibly, if we can have the time, or find the time.
So if you tune into the normal time, you'll most likely see something that isn't the podcast, at least. But we will still be releasing an episode. We actually have an archived episode that will be released the following Monday for you to listen to, and hopefully you enjoy that. It's a much shorter episode. Yes,
it is. We actually we sat down and we recorded a half-hour episode, and we stuck to that time frame. It's hard to believe that we can do that, but
yeah,
it's possible.
It is. We try to keep this between 45 to an hour. Sometimes it goes an hour based on what we're talking about. Sometimes it's just 45. Depends on the topic. Today, some interesting topics. I imagine it'll be 50 minutes. We'll find out here shortly.
Ooh.
An omen. Anyways, head over to youtube.com if you ever want to find essentially the archived versions of everything that we record on the Twitch TV. Well, really just the podcast. You can head over to YouTube, search up Frantic Talks, hit that subscribe button. You'll get the podcast every Saturday right after we go live, assuming we went live. And it was usually roughly about an hour after we do so, because that's about how long YouTube takes to process it. But that's one of the perks. Another perk is the Sunday show, which will not be occurring this coming Sunday. It's Mother's Day. I'm going to spend it with my mom, who isn't interested in the music I talk about, so it's okay. I'm not upset about that. But you should spend it with your mom, too, instead of watching me talk about music. Or don't. I don't care. Either way, I talk about music on the Sunday show. That's what I'm trying to get at here. So you can check that out as well. Hopefully we're going to get some other stuff going on there. Freak Show gave me a hilarious idea of some of the antics we had last night while we were, I think it was we were doing Rocket League. Either way, we'll figure it out. Also, head over to facebook.com/Frantic Talks, all one word. That is where you will be able to like us and get a more Facebook format of typically what we tweet out on Twitter, because kind of just do it all at the same time, roughly. That doesn't work. All else fails, head over to FranticTalks.com, the mothership. You can check out all the articles that we have written, which there are articles now. We're getting there. As well as every podcast. Grunt, there is a bird in the background, and I want to deck it in the face because it is obnoxious.
My bad. Sorry. Windows are open. It's a nice day here.
No, it's a nice day here, too. I just hear some jerk-off trying to get in on the podcast.
Yeah, that's our mystery special guest is probably a sparrow.
It's Sparrow. It's Jack the Sparrow. Haha! I'm doing good at this.
Oh my god.
FranticTalks.com, like I said, the mothership. You can find everything you need. If you click into a podcast there, where all the podcasts are, you'll find everything you need to know about the podcast, including the Twitch link, the YouTube link, all the video to the YouTube as well, along with iTunes, Stitcher, all that great stuff is in there. And a quick summation of it all, it's all there. Also, magic.frantictalks.com is a link in the very top of the website, along with a whole website where we talk about Magic the Gathering, and that's some really interesting stuff there. So hopefully that helps, but remember, if all else fails, 100 times out of 10, Grunt, what can you do?
Direct yourself to your nearest search engine and just search Frantic Talks.
Yes, you can. I don't know what Bing is, but apparently that might work. I saw a article that was talking about it was like if advertisers took the passive aggressive route, and it was just Google, and it said, "What the hell even is Bing? Just Google it."
All right, that works.
Makes sense. So you can Google it. You could also Bing it. You could Yahoo it. Ask Jeeves even. What even is that? Man, this is like 2002 on the internet. All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pass the mic over to Grunt because we always start this off by saying, Grunt, how was your week?
Gonna give a quick shout out to Brock Lego Master, who has joined us live in the chat.
Oh, how's it going, Brock?
My week this week has been pretty, I don't know, quiet. I've been working on my next column, well, my first column actually, for our. Okay, I'm just gonna admit my set chat for a little while. That's a little distracting. Like, I see the chat there. I want to laugh at the comments in it, but professionalism, people. It's what I have zero experience in.
Well, I'm over here just saying Puntifical, and you're like professional.
Professional. All right.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
I should probably
spent a good chunk of my week trying to figure out what I want to say into it. Say in my first column. Like, I know what it's about. I know what I want to say. It's just now the process of getting that from my head to the virtual piece of paper.
Yeah, your head to your toes. Wait.
What? That's not how that works. Other time, it's been spent. I played a little bit of Rocket League with you earlier in the week. You were quickly reminded how horrible I am at it.
Oh, no, it's all good.
So
you're good. It's just
good in a dysfunctional way.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to put it.
Because let's face it, some of those things I had happen should never have happened, ever.
Yeah, that's true.
Like bouncing, hitting the ball as it bounces off the upper crossbar, off of my car, off of an opponent's car, back on the freak show, and then in the goal. Which, by the way, he stole that goal from me.
That's what he aims to do.
It is what he aims to do.
Really quick, I want to shout out to the footer of the Frantic Talks website. I'm going to scroll down there and show it real quick. I've added links to our Xbox Live stuff where you can go check out like some of the DVR stuff. I'm pretty sure that's where those link. So you can check out our DVRs where we have a lot of really funny clips and stuff, of which a lot of my clips are just me being cool in Rocket League or Destiny. But there are some pretty cool ones from the other day. But continue, Grunt. Sorry to interrupt again.
Only other thing I've really been doing this week has been playing Iron Banner or Iron Banana in Destiny.
As we like to call it. As many like to call it.
Yes. That has been the Mayhem Clash game mode, and it is about as much fun as I had anticipated. I'm really enjoying it. It's fun just going in there and getting a super off every, 15 seconds, 20 seconds.
Yeah, it started to be...
Setup is, maybe add or take away a few seconds from that, but it's fun.
Yeah, I definitely was having more fun when I started actually not trying to be so serious. Which
serious, guys.
I often figure out that I have way more fun when I stop trying and just have fun with it.
It's usually the way it is.
It reminds me of the Jimmy Neutron quote. You kids, good luck tonight, and remember, have fun with it. This is just what just came to mind.
Oh, man. Let's see, what else? Oh, I almost forgot. Last weekend, Sunday after our last podcast, compared to the Saturday after our last podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like I make a comment like that on every single episode.
Maybe.
Probably. I should do something about that. But I was able to host my first tabletop game with a few family members.
Yeah.
The game was Dread. I believe I briefly talked about it last week or the week before that. Either way, quick rundown is it's typically a horror theme or horror style role-playing game.
Yeah.
Your character sheets are basically just a list of questions that would define what your character would do in certain situations, how they would feel in some aspects. The typical D20 dice system is thrown out the window and replaced with a block stacking tower game, aka Jenga, or whatever cheap knockoff you can find of it, because there's way more of those out there than probably should be.
Yeah, surprisingly.
But
I guess, I mean, you can't really patent wood blocks that stack.
not really. No,
So,
not really. So it's kind of hard. You can patent the name, but you can't really patent the idea.
Right.
I should patent wooden block stacking game.
I mean,
And all
That's
variations of.
that's probably too generic.
Yeah, it is. There goes my master plan.
Well, yeah, get a better master plan.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's see. You get a better master plan.
I'll come up with one. Give me a minute. I'm on the Puntifical train, man. I'll do some shit here. That's a good name for the episode.
Oh. But yes, I got to host my first game of that last weekend, and that was a lot of fun. It proved that I would actually enjoy hosting the game. It was just one of the simple, overarching storylines that they had in the provided in the manual. It was kind of loosely based off of basically a Friday the 13th style movie.
Yeah.
Complete with the guy in the mask and all that stuff. So it was a little difficult at times to continue the story because I was highly anticipating a character to die, and no matter how hard I tried, the tower would not fall. So
That's odd.
yes, I mean that thing was super, super flimsy at one point. I think I might have a picture of it somewhere. I need to find it and tweet it out. But yes, that was a lot of fun. I'm looking at writing my own stories based off of some game universes. Dishonored is one of them. Maybe some others in the near future, but that's going to take a while.
That sounds cool.
So yes, I enjoyed it. I can basically say if you are wanting to give hosting a tabletop game a try, go ahead and try it. But
Absolutely. I mean, you never know what you're gonna like more, hosting or playing. I'm like, depends on the mood. Like, I can enjoy both pretty equally.
yeah, they each have their own aspects that I like about them. Playing is fun because you're getting to take part in it, and hosting it, you're getting to take part in it the same way, but it's a little bit more involved than just simply playing. So
Yeah.
I agree. There's certain aspects to it I like. Just depends what kind of mood I'm in.
Yeah, I feel you there.
So yeah, that's pretty much how my week was. And seeing you crying in the chat box, just gonna make an obligatory Kirk Hammett reference there.
Kirk Wammett.
All right, so that's how my week has been. How was yours?
Oh, well. Funny you should ask. No, I had a good week.
I think I ask every single week.
I actually got a lot of gaming in this week, so that was a good feeling. It's been a while since I got that much. So, like, we played a lot of Destiny, and that's been a lot of fun, doing Iron Banana along with Nightfall, and I believe we're actually going to do the Vault of Glass tonight. That was spoken of. I don't know. We'll find out.
Once you get your sleeper sim, most likely.
Yes, I do need to get that, but that'll be the first thing we do when we get on, which will be great. Well, it would be really great because that's like one of the only heavies left that I don't have that isn't a sword. So, it literally is actually now that I think about it. So that'll be awesome. I'll finally finish out having all heavies that aren't exotic swords, but I imagine those will never come along. I don't know.
Well,
Stuff that requires more than 5 minutes of effort, I tend to not do. Then again,
yeah,
I do
you're
an
never
hour
gonna
long. I do hour-long podcasts. So that's odd, but whatever. Destiny was the main focus of this week. I did some good amount of Rocket League with Freak Show, and you were there as well during certain points. And then he got me hooked on this game. Well, not hooked on, but just kind of starting on this game.
he got
Kitsune
you
Pro? Well, I mean, I was really interested in it. I still am. I just haven't gotten to do much with it. So you might notice in the background right now that there is 2 articles that don't say podcast number, insert number here. And there's actually articles. We've gotten back to writing stuff we mentioned last week, and I think the week before. Or just last week. I think it was just last week.
Just this past week. Wednesday was the first one, and then the second one debuted this past Friday. Yesterday, as a matter of fact. If you're watching live or listening to this on Saturday.
Right. So 2 new weekly things are happening now on the Frantic Talks website that aren't podcasts and not the Sunday show, which doesn't really happen on the website. It happens on YouTube. and that is weekly columns by either me, Grunt, or Freak Show, and it's going to go in that order, more than likely. Where this coming Wednesday, it's going to happen usually every Wednesday. We're going to aim for that, but it might happen on like a Thursday. Grunt's going to write something in his column, Grunt's Grumblings.
No one's ever going to guess what my first post is going to be about.
I mean, because you don't even know, right?
I do know.
Oh, you do?
I technically have it half done. I worked on it quite a bit last night during breaks in between Iron Banner matches.
All right, I think I remember. I'm not going to spoil it, but either way. My Frantic Annex column is the first one that came out. It was talking about comic book movie stories. So if you are interested in checking that out, head over to the Frantic Talks website, frantictalks.com. You can check it out. It's one of the top posts at the moment. And then Freak Show this past Friday posted his first of many in the Chronicles of AWE, or the Chronicles of Awe. And he will most likely try to be posting puns. We'll see what happens. But essentially, he is doing a wrestling simulator, and that's not like simulating matches. It's like running the company. So think Football Manager, but for wrestling. That is, sorry, football, because that's how I say soccer, because that's what it technically is. I don't know if that actually happens in the game. Seems anticlimactic if it doesn't, but either way.
It does. Just
it has to. It has to happen. No, he's been playing that for a little while, and he's got this whole story about how you live and die by the rando, and it's a great little short read. He's going to get a little more in depth with it in the upcoming articles. He's aiming to do it we're aiming to do it every Friday. He's going to actually be writing pretty far ahead, which is something we don't really necessarily do too often. We kind of just write it and then it happens. So that'll be cool to see that happen. And if you're interested in that, you can check it out and read. Like I said, definitely give him feedback on his writing, just because I can criticize him all I want, but it's a certain style that it's just like, oh, I'm sure other people like it. I don't know. Not to say I don't like it. I'm just saying, give him some criticisms in pun form, because he'll probably understand it better that way. I imagine that's how his mind works, right?
Frantic, before you continue any further, why don't you just use the word feedback? Give him feedback of any kind.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know what word I was...
Criticism. You were saying criticism. You were just spiraling down there. Man.
Yeah, it's like I said, 4 hours of sleep, guys. I'm sorry. I blame Freak Show because we were up till 5 a.m. on this goddamn simulator, and then I woke up at 9 and went and played golf for 4 hours. So I'm not here, even though I am. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take a nap real quick. Grunt, take over.
Okay, I got this. But wait, your week's not done yet.
All right, fine. I wish you could see what I just did on screen.
We need to figure that out, man.
Oh, I know, we do. For those of you who don't know, Grunt can't see me when we record this, unless he watches live, and it's like delayed, but he doesn't watch it live. You normally just save bandwidth. Doesn't necessarily need it now. The bandwidth is what I'm meaning. But he can't see me. He can only go back and watch. So we used to be able to do it, but then Skype was like, you have two cameras plugged in. I don't understand what's happening. So whatever.
Okay, you bent over and hit behind the desk. Thank you, Brock.
Brock's got our back. But the thing is if you were watching live, you'd be about that close to figuring out what's happening. All right, we've been rambling for 20 minutes about nothing. I had a good week. It was fun. We should probably talk about stuff.
Our weeks were good. They were fun. Let us know how your week was, what you did.
Yeah, all that.
Promoting here at Frantic_Talks.
Yeah, throw it at us. Or in the Twitch chat if you're here like Brock. Go tell us how you're doing. Okay. Stuff happened this week. Jesus Christ.
Stuff happened. You're a dead mess, literally.
I literally
am. Tired mess.
I'm just going to sit back, let you look at my Avatar shirt, and stretch. Oh, God. What's the first story? All right, so I'm going to go out and just say this.
Show.
Yeah, some TV show got canceled. Okay, so normally we don't cover non-gaming stuff, but this was too good to pass up. I don't normally hate TV shows for dumb reasons, or normally just hate them in general. This show, Two Broke Girls, if you haven't heard about this yet, Two Broke Girls got canceled. This was posted on IGN's website a day ago. This show got canceled. Now, if you've never watched an episode of Two Broke Girls, don't go out of your way to watch an episode of Two Broke Girls. I don't know how many...
remove that from my Netflix queue right now, then? After you specifically told me to check it out before we started, because it was one of your all-time favorite shows.
That's not at all what I said. So, how this show went on for, I think, 6 seasons. Yeah, 6 seasons looks like.
Be roughly about, I don't know.
Okay, it went on for
a year per season. I was going to say. So 6 years, but
normally it follows the typical like starts in September, ends in April type thing.
Yeah. So
this show is so stupid. So the idea is they're 2 waitresses who are trying to start their own business, whatever. They make some of the dumbest fucking jokes, and they aren't even good jokes. It's one of those shows where the characters just say something and then a laugh track plays. It's not funny. It's all about them being chicks with boobs, and there's that probably happened in the show. That exact interaction. You have boobs. Ah! God, I hate this show. Now I'm not going to go off on this like Steven Totillo, but this. Check out episode 62 of the podcast for more on that. That was a fun time. No, this show is terrible. I'm glad it got canceled. I don't know why it took 6 seasons to realize this show was literally awful. But apparently it started strong, and then milking a dead cow, or sorry, milking this woman's breasts, because it's all about the breasts. All right, before this gets into like NC-17 TV mature, rated R for redundant jokes.
We're gonna have to keep this video on YouTube if we go any further.
I'm pretty sure we're already not advertiser friendly. Yeah, it got canceled. I'm happy about it. Moving on to something that's happening this following Thursday. Grant, what's happening Thursday?
Oh man, I can't. I think does it have to do with a sequel of a game we play often? I think it does. Yeah.
It's on screen.
Oh, well, you're ruining the
I didn't know if you were setting it up
suspense.
for me. Well, to be fair, I waited until you said it could be a sequel, and then I clicked the button.
Yes.
So
happening this Thursday, May 18th at, I think, 10 a.m. Pacific time?
Yes.
So it would be 1 p.m. Eastern. You can do the math on the rest of the time zones. Super sorry if you live over in the other half of the world and you're like at least 6 hours ahead of us.
Yeah,
time
that's a
zones
good
are
point.
Confusing.
I always focus on the United States, Central Time, it's like noon. In Mountain, it's 11. Well, what about Britain? Oh, 4? I don't know.
it's usually later in the evening, so it's not like 4 a.m. for them, but you can tune in to twitch.tv/Bungie, and you will be seeing the Destiny 2 gameplay reveal live stream that they will be doing.
Should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for this.
I'm very excited to see what they have in store for us for the next game. Getting to see what all is in there. Maybe some questions will be answered as to things like subclasses and new guns and maybe some new abilities. And always it will bring up more questions.
Yeah, this will probably bring more questions than it answers.
That's usually what like hype streams do. They bring more questions than answers. So
it's here's a gun, we jump around and shoot. All right, guys, that's the stream.
I'm pretty anxious to see what all they have in store for us, though. So.
Oh, absolutely! I'm excited. I think it'll be really awesome just to kind of see what's coming in the future here in September. Remember, September 8th is when it comes out, which is actually a Friday, which is not your standard release date for a video game. So
it's
mark your calendars.
New release Friday instead of new release Tuesday.
I mean, I'm okay with it. That makes me have a 3-day weekend instead of an ask off Tuesday and Wednesday on a week. It's really odd to do that.
Right.
So rather just get it out, ask off for a day, and then have 2 days. Oh, damn it! Fucking computer just made noise. Go the hell away. Just told me it's going to restart later.
Oh.
Curse you.
Well.
It's gonna be later. It's not going to happen during stream. It's we'll do it when you're not active. Don't worry. All right.
We'll do it when you're not active. 5 minutes later. Your computer is restarting now.
5 minutes later, the Frantic Talks podcast goes black. Well, actually, people listening aren't going to realize it. The only person who's going to be out of the weird is going to be like Brock. He's going to be like, where the fuck did you guys go? Sorry, Brock. I just destroyed my computer because it told me it was restarting. I mean, it restarted.
Frantic Smash.
Frantic Smash.
So
it's Frantic Talks. Come on.
Well, yeah, but you said
Frantic Trash. No, that's going to be it. I shouldn't have said that. That's going to... 4 hours of sleep, guys. It does wonders. So, Thursday, right?
Thursday, May 18th, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/Bungie. Probably just go to twitch.tv and it'll be right there plastered all over the front page.
Oh, more than likely.
The Destiny 2 live gameplay reveal stream.
Yeah. It should be a ton of fun. I don't know if we'll like live tweet about it. We might, but I'll be at work, so I probably wouldn't be in the best interest. But Grunt might. I know he tends to tweet about it. But we'll be having our kick chats and just like yelling at each other, like ah.
I'm literally gonna yell at you just because you said that now.
We're only allowed to talk in all caps in the chat when we watch this. Yeah.
Yes. That's the rule.
That's gonna be the rule. Freak Show, you're gonna hear this here soon. So when you hear this part, remember all caps during the stream.
My phone and can I actually grab my phone out of my reach? Whoops.
Nah, he normally listens right after we post to YouTube. Also, we post this to YouTube right after we go live. Just so you know, guys. I'm just gonna keep plugging that. Like, subscribe. And we're all in all caps now. So yes, continue in all caps. It makes it sound like we're very exciting.
We are very exciting. I'm very excited for that gameplay trailer.
As am I.
Stream.
Well, yeah, reveal. All right, I think we've milked this long enough.
Usually, developers, release a gameplay trailer. They show off like 15 minutes, maybe a little less of the footage, and Bungie's just like, hey, we'll just show it off live. We'll do it live, as they like to say.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. More or less.
People here, them, right there. I don't know how well you can actually see that. So.
Oh, I can see it. I think you can see it pretty well. I just have a smoothie from McDonald's.
Are you McLovin' it?
No.
Okay, so.
All right, well, let's move on from the game that we never stopped playing to a game I've spent 5 minutes playing, but you might not ever get to play it again unless you get it illegally or something. And that is Alan Wake. Alan Wake. So if you aren't familiar with this game, it's kind of like a third-person, I don't want to say survival, but it's like an action/atmospheric type game. It's got an interesting story. Yeah, suspense is
a game genre.
Yeah, absolutely.
It needs to be a game genre if it's not.
Yeah, so this story kind of revolves around Alan Wake, who's this writer. Him and his wife go up to this cabin for a weekend in this weird, like, Twin Peaks-esque city, and his wife is like really afraid of the dark is her thing. She has I forget what the actual phobia is, but she has that for the dark. And the
Darkophobia. That's not actually the name. It's just what.
If you have darkophobia, don't wake the hive. How about that?
Ha ha ha. Let's see what you did there.
A buzzing. So, anyways, she's afraid of the dark, and most of the game kind of revolves around you fighting off things in the darkness that are kind of, it's almost like supernatural in a way. Not the TV show, just describing how it is. So,
shout out to Supernatural, by the way.
No, not at all. No, I will not. I refuse. But that's essentially the game. So it's going to be vanishing from stores in stores.
May 15th.
Well, yeah, it's on
16th. May 16th, actually, is when it will be disappearing. So
right.
Next Tuesday? Wednesday? Tuesday. Delisting
yeah.
Tuesday. Oh, sorry. Bad joke.
It's okay. Yeah, no, it will not be available to download until, and here's how it happened. They renegotiate for the music, basically. So, interestingly enough, American Nightmare, which was like the sequel to it, essentially. I don't know if that's the right word. Sequel. We'll say sequel. That one, they
second installment.
Yeah, second installment, better way to put it, because I don't know if it's a direct sequel or not. I haven't played it. But that one, they negotiated the musical contracts for their song, for it to where they own it instead of whoever made the music owning it. And that's the issue here. So they essentially need to renegotiate, and until they do, they cannot sell it. And this is a kind of like a joint thing that needs to happen between Microsoft and Remedy, the people who made it, and the person who made the music. I forget the guy's name. It's in the article.
So go read the article.
Yeah, so, I mean, I read it. I just don't remember the dude's name off the top of my head. It's somewhere in there. Thomas Puha is the head of communications for Remedy. What kind of last name is Puha?
Oh God, it's Steve.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna start ripping into this guy for no goddamn reason. Really, Puha?
Oh my God, here we go.
I could like change that.
Maybe he doesn't want to change it. All right.
Like, you could go for...
J3, what kind of last name is that?
Keep it... Hey, I'm watching you. Bruja would be better. I mean, you could just go for that. I don't see the guy's name in here, though. I'm too focused on Bruja over here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it doesn't actually say the person's name, so... Good job, guys.
Musical artist number 1.
Brock just mentioned in the chat, well, not just mentioned, it was kind of sitting there for a second, but I didn't want to get distracted, that Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo is 21 today. It is legal. They can drink.
Oh, yeah. Go
So
have
that, like a drinking game
Go
party.
Go have a pint. Whatever.
A Bruja.
A Bruja. Yeah, a Bruja. Oh my god. Pontifically, everyone.
Puntifical, I was going to say the same thing. Oh, jeez. You know, maybe the secret to really fun podcast is for me to just never
not
sleep.
Getting any sleep. Yes. Thus, it's there's your master plan.
There's no yeah, there you go, man. Full circles, guys. The filter is really hard to focus on here. All right, well, that's enough about Alan Wake. You probably should go buy it if you're interested in playing it. I played a little bit of it, and I was pretty interested in it, but haven't picked it up since then. That was like 4 years ago, I think, at this point. Probably not that long ago, but still.
Yeah. Basically, the contracts for the licenses for the music in the original Alan Wake have expired or will be expiring, and they need to be renegotiated. So the game technically can't be sold until those contracts get renewed or renegotiated or whatever technical term goes here.
Speaking of musical related contracts, this is nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I'm just going to go on a 5-second tangent here. Did you know that Disney is trying to push through into law copyright laws that would allow them to essentially never have to give up the rights to their music and characters versus having to renew them roughly every 70 years?
Doesn't surprise me.
Stifling creativity.
That could be, yeah. That's not.
I just felt like sharing that. We're like, oh, music rights. Oh, you know what else in music rights is sucky? This. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about this and move on to something else that's probably way more interesting. All right, so this is actually sad news. This is the final story we have for you guys today to run wild with. Square Enix drops the developer of the latest Hitman game, IO Interactive. There's a little bit of, I don't want to say misinformation, but gray area here where it's kind of hard to understand everything that's happened with it. But essentially, from what Square Enix has said, is they dropped them and it cost them $43 million, roughly 4.3 billion yen. It's much scarier when you say 4.3 billion yen. It's actually 43 million US dollars. That's still a lot of money, not to downplay it, but
it just sounds way more because of currency differences. Exchange rates,
exactly.
Actually.
Yes, yeah, exchange rates. So that's kind of sad. We actually talked a little bit about Hitman. They were, if you did not know, the latest Hitman game was actually an episodic adventure where they kind of released an episode
monthly. I think it was.
Yeah, I was trying to think if it was monthly or like every other week or something. I didn't remember.
I think it was monthly because they had like one episode / level that came out in like March, and then one in February, one in May. February?
Yeah.
February, March, April, May. I'm going backwards and then forwards in my months. Whoops.
I mean, if it makes any difference to you, I didn't really catch it. That doesn't help. Yeah. But yeah, like he's saying, episodic, something that
monthly releases.
I was interested to see how it all went down, because the idea of an episodic thing isn't necessarily a new thing, but it wasn't common. The only place we really see it is in Telltale's games. Right. And for those, it really works well because they're so story-driven that it's almost like you're interacting with a TV show, right. I'd argue. And you kind of have your own say in how the story ends up. Not to say that it's how you want the story to end up, but you get at least some amount of say in it. So it worked there. You know, it's working very well for them, I'd argue. But it would seem that this way they did it with Hitman recently doesn't look like it's working well enough, or Square Enix doesn't have any faith in them to bring on a second season or episode or whatever they're going to call it. Because in this caption, oh, never mind. I read that wrong. second season is the right way to say that. So it looks like they don't have much faith in it, and IO Interactive had spoken of doing it, but it didn't sound like it was something that was in the works. So that could be all we ever see from IO Interactive. Who knows? Usually, in the world of video games, it's very, what's the right term? Risky, but I'm not trying to say risky. So that's essentially the way to think of it.
Volatile movies?
Yes, volatile.
Which that word could be used to perfectly describe the game industry in general, but...
Right, and that's kind of what I was kind of leaning towards, is that, getting into game development, dumping a ton of money into something, and ultimately not seeing what you thought would come to fruition is extremely risky. So...
Right. Yes, very, very.
It sucks. I remember...
Scalebound. Just last year.
Scalebound, exactly. That was another one we covered on the Frantic Dogs podcast, along with Lionhead, the guys who did Fable. They got shut down. We've had a couple of developer deaths in the time that we've been on this podcast. It's always sad to hear stuff like this. Now, IO isn't dead by any means. They said that they will be releasing a statement here in the future, because they haven't said anything about it. Just Square Enix has said stuff. So they could still be around, but we don't know what this means for Hitman. I personally really like the Hitman franchise, having not played too terribly much of it, but enjoyed what I have played, and also enjoying the first movie that they had done. I haven't seen the second movie, because I know it was kind of like a reboot.
Very good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I really like Agent 47, so...
Then... The second movie is more so, it has a decent story, but it's really more so an action movie.
Yeah.
But I liked it better in all of its aspects than the first one. So.
Okay.
You definitely should check it out if it's on like Netflix or something.
Okay. I'll definitely put that on my list of stuff to watch. I know one of the biggest criticisms...
Assassin's Creed movie. I mean, what?
Yeah, that's another one I feel like I need to watch. I was going to say, I remember the biggest criticism of the original Hitman movie that they did was that they just randomly inserted a love story for no reason. I can see that too. Because he never really had love interest in the game. And I guess they were trying to humanize him, but how do you humanize a guy who can literally take down an entire army without thinking?
Right.
So, either ways. Like I said, we don't know what this means for Hitman. We don't know what it means for IO Interactive until they kind of come out and say, here's our next steps, where we stand. Or they could just be done with. I don't know. I want to say there was more information in here, but anyways, Grunt, keep talking.
I really hope that it doesn't mean the end for Hitman, because I was interested in the last game that was the episodic series. I'm standoffish on buying those, because unless you buy the season pass or a pass that gives you those episodes, it's quite the money sink at times for those, to buy the initial episode and then all the ones after that. So I was a little standoffish about that. I think they eventually did release a collection of it that had it all, so I'm not sure about that though.
Yeah,
so it might be a good idea to pick it up now if they do. Otherwise, in general, I hope IO gets to retain the rights to Hitman, and I'm pretty sure they will.
Yeah, because they created it back in the day.
It is their intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
So they most likely will keep that. I hope it doesn't go away, because I would like to see more of it. But
yeah,
now without a publisher, it's going to be interesting to see how they go about that, even with any other games that they maybe want to put out on their own going forward. So
yeah, I read through the article just briefly while you were talking to make sure it covered all bases, and saying that you're going to die was a little bit of jumping on the gun. Square Enix has said they're looking for other investors. It's just that they want to invest their money into their franchise games. Square Enix saying that, so they want to focus their money elsewhere and not into this, especially when it seems that the episodic gamble did not pay off. So sounds like they should be okay, but don't be surprised if we hear otherwise. I think it's the best way to put it. Not. So, interestingly enough, I did not know IO did Kane and Lynch. That's interesting.
Oh, wow. I did not know that either.
Yeah, they had a couple of the games listed in the article. Mini Ninjas, Kane and Lynch 2, Hitman Absolution, Hitman. Okay.
Did they do Hitman?
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. The ones I just mentioned were all under Square Enix specifically, but anyways, that is essentially
that.
Yeah, today I learned, Kane and Lynch, IO Interactive, Hitman, IO Interactive. Also, Square Enix doesn't like them. No, that's not what I learned, but unfortunately, they don't like them enough to keep giving them money.
Right.
Which sucks. All right, well, those are pretty much all the stories we have today. I'm actually 10 minutes short on my prediction, but either way, we can ramble for 5 more minutes about where you can find us and all that fun stuff. Grant, you got anything else to add before we go into our closing statements?
Not really. I believe I pretty much covered everything in our earlier tangents.
Yeah, that I'm surprised we went on for 20 minutes about literally nothing. That was impressive.
We still end up fitting in time.
I know. We're just like, okay,
how do we do it?
Space magic.
I'm okay with that answer.
Okay, cool. Puntifical. So if you want to continue this conversation and let us know what you think about some of the stuff we talked about today, including how excited you are possibly for Destiny 2 reveal, whether you like Two Broke Girls or not, I won't judge you, although I won't like you. And what was the other thing? Alan Wake. Let us know what you think of Alan Wake. If you don't get a chance to buy it, sorry, but maybe it'll come back. Who knows? Also, torrents are a thing, but I wouldn't advocate that. Just letting you know. Stating facts here, people. We talk about the facts on Frantic Talks. Bruja. All right, so you can find us on Twitter. I am at FranticJ3. Frantic J, the letter, and 3, the number, because I kind of always, when I say at Onyx Spartan, ONYX Spartan, I spell out Onyx, so you know how to spell it. But I never really took into the fact that some people could just type in the word 3, not realizing it's me.
Frantic J3.
Yeah, the number 3.
You just go create that account and claim it if it's not actually taken.
Don't do that. Like, I have so many Frantic J3 accounts. Like,
that was directed at you to do that.
Oh, my bad. I misunderstood what you're saying.
Of course you did.
Yeah, at Frantic_Talks is where you can find us also on Twitter. Probably be best to just tweet at that so you can kind of include both of us without having to use up too many of your characters to talk about some of the topics we talked about today. Also, if you have an idea for something that you want us to talk about that could be fit into an episode that could be recorded, say, today, but not released for another month or two, which is what we're trying to do when we don't have time to do a live podcast, let us know via Twitter, like I just said, via that handle, at Frantic_Talks. If you guys want to hear a top 5, for instance, of something that you really want to hear our opinion on, like top 5, I don't know, drinks in games or something weird like that. Doesn't matter. We'll definitely hear your ideas. We have a couple in mind, but always more interested in what you guys want to hear than what we want to ramble about for 20 minutes, Also, don't limit your thought to just top 5s. Like I said, a timeless topic, like, could be awesome. So, like I said,
within reason.
Yes, of course, within reason. We're not going to talk about pornography games. Like, it's not happening.
I mean, we could probably easily dedicate an episode to that, but I don't really want to do the research into that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've never played one, so I wouldn't be able to do the research either. Like, it's just, that'd be way too much effort for archive cast.
And again, we kind of think our show should be somewhat suitable for people possibly under the age of
18 easily.
Yes.
When it gets down to closer to the preteen,
like 5 times in the first 10 minutes of the podcast.
Hey, if I learned anything from YouTube, is if you put boobs in the thumbnail, you get views. And to be fair, we did talk about them.
Oh my god, here we go.
It's not clickbait. If
you're not wrong. You're not
Twitch.tv/Frantic Talks if you want to catch all this nonsense live instead of listening to it archived, which is essentially what it is when you listen to it in the audio version. YouTube.com, search up Frantic Talks, hit that subscribe button. Not only will you get the podcast, you also get it a day or two earlier, depending on when it actually goes up, normally 2 days earlier. It usually goes live right after we do the podcast live, assuming we have gone live with the podcast that Saturday. Goes about an hour after we're done recording here, so roughly 5 p.m. Eastern is when I would expect that to be going up on a Saturday. But you can also subscribe there and find other stuff that we do, like the Sunday show and soon upcoming gaming videos. Also, head over to Facebook.com/Frantic Talks, all one word. That's where you will find the Facebook format, version, whatever, of essentially our Twitter profile, but not necessarily, because I'm not exactly sure how to describe it beyond that, but we post a lot of articles and videos and other stuff there.
Twitter in a more Facebook format.
Yes, as I like to always say, Twitter, but in a more Facebook format. Also, if all that fails, head over to frantictalks.com. If you managed to find the podcast and haven't managed to figure out where we're at, just type the name, all one word, .com. Boom. You made it. You did it. That was you. That wasn't me. That was you. Give yourself a high five.
And here, have a virtual high five from...
Yeah, virtual high five
Boom.
from us.
Boom.
We already gave like one out earlier to Brock, so shit, man. Virtual high fives for everybody. But if you head over to frantictalks.com, that is the mothership. You will find everything you need to know about the Frantic Talks group, community, everything, including all the things I just said in the footer, along with cool links to blog posts, to articles, to podcasts, to whatever the hell you want, even a Magic the Gathering version of the site, which is magic.frantictalks.com. It's all there for you to binge and read and form opinions that you probably didn't know you had, and then get back to us about how you're mad that you now have that opinion. That's what you should do. I think that would be great.
Or maybe agree with us on that newly formed opinion.
Right. Maybe agree that this guy's name should be Bruja. Or
at maybe, us that you agree that guy's name should be Bruja.
Yeah, and tell us how stupid Steven Totillo is, because God, I don't like him. Like, I was seething with anger during that podcast, and right now I'm just like sitting here staring down abysmally, like just like I don't like that guy.
The hilarious thing about that is, like, after one of our listeners, Merherder, listened to the podcast, he tweeted at him, lied to Kotaku, tagging us in the tweet, saying something about give us reasons as to why the Dreamcast is failing now.
And it was really funny.
4 days later, he finds a video on YouTube that was published only a few hours before he captured that picture of a video. So many reasons why the Dreamcast is failing. It's like, man.
Oh jeez!
Amazing. Like,
that's one of the best moments that has come from our podcast. Like one of my best memories so far. Oh jeez.
For a minute there, the universes and planets and everything that could possibly aligned there just to make that happen. Just
to satisfy us that little bit extra, like, oh, you were right. When you're right, you're right. Like, that's what happened. So check out episode, what was that, 62 or 61? I don't remember which one it was.
I think it was episode 61.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the episodes in the 60s, so you don't have to go too far back. That's still one of my favorite episodes. God, that was so ridiculous.
A movie entitled Late to the Party. Episode whatever, 60 whatever, Late to the Party.
Yeah, it's 62. I have it on the screen right now. Well, not on the podcast screen, but on my other screen right now. So, check that out. It's still on the Frantic Talks front page. Just scroll down a couple, and then check out all the other stuff, like our changes and everything. Anyways.
You should totally check back the mothership. Yes. I would dare say on a weekly basis if you so have the time, because we are getting content out there for you to actually read.
Oh, yeah.
More than just a reminder of saying our podcast's out, so...
Yeah, so now it looks like the schedule goes as follows. You get a podcast on Monday, a weekly column on Wednesday, and Chronicles of the Awesome Wrestling Entertainment article on Friday. Saturday podcast goes live. Sunday, we give you a Sunday show, assuming it isn't a holiday or I'm not tired. I mean, not motivated. I mean, I don't have topics. But yeah, lots of stuff coming at you. Pretty busy now. It's pretty sweet. So. Right. Let us know what you think of all the stuff we've been talking about, whether some of our more experimental stuff like the weekly column, the Chronicles, and even the Sunday show, if you're liking or not liking it. And we can definitely tailor what we do in those slots to your liking. So
exactly.
So frantictalks.com, but if all else fails, 100 times out of 10, guaranteed. How can you find us, Grunt?
Direct yourself to your nearest favorite search engine. Type in Frantic Talks, hit enter, and boom. You will probably find us as one of the top few hits.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we're the top hit now. So, yeah. So that'll work.
Sweet.
Get involved. Frantic Talks is not only a place for us to ramble, but also a community. That's why we want you joining in on the Twitch chats like Brock did. And that's why we want you tweeting at us your ideas, because we want to talk to you guys. We don't want to just stand on a soapbox and yell at no one. That'd be pointless. So, definitely looking forward to all the random crap we're getting off the ground and moving. So I had a thought in my mind that I wanted to talk about the new website, because we will be overhauling the site here soon. I actually have done a lot of work with it, and it's getting pretty sweet. Grunt can confirm, I hope.
I can confirm.
So hopefully you'll see that soon. But all said and done, I think that's all we need to say now. We hit the 50-minute mark. I wasn't trying to draw it out. That just kind of naturally happened. But boom, I'm fucking good at this. Oh, yeah. All right, I think that's about it. Grunt, anything else?
Nope.
All right. The big 5-0, guys. Oh, jeez. All right. That is all for us. I hope you guys... Puntifically. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thomas Bruja, change your name. And I think... Oh, it's Puha, but change it to Bruja. All right, I'm done. This is going to go on forever. All right, guys. I'm Frantic.
I'm Frantic.
And we'll see you guys next time.